Do the Miami Heat need to trade Tyler Herro? That is what we're talking about today on the Heat Report by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel because we're going to bring you daily content surrounding the Miami Heat, trade rumors leading up to the trade deadline, news, the playoff push, and we're live for almost every single game on the channel doing a watch party. We'll be live again on Monday for the Heat versus Suns, where Miami can hopefully pick up a win. The reason why we're talking about potentially trading Tyler Herro is, well, because the Heat have been hurting in a bad way. 6 straight losses, and they've come in some embarrassing fashion, especially against the Raptors, the Grizzlies, the Celtics, and now the Knicks yesterday, where you had a real chance to win that game. You climb all the way back, tied at 86 right before the end of the third. Randall hits a buzzer-beating 3 going into the fourth quarter, and then you just have a horrific final period, and you lose by about 15 or 16 points. So that was very embarrassing. But the reason why I want to talk about this is because changes might have to be made, and I want to look at the statistics of Tyler Herro on the court, off the court, potentially a trade that can fix the Miami Heat, but that's what we'll get to today's show. And listen, it's been ugly for Miami, right? The offense has been struggling a lot lately. The 2 games against the Celtics and Knicks, the offense actually looked much better, but on the flip side, you give up 143 points and 126. So you haven't been able to defend anyone, and the question has to be asked, even though I love the Terry Rozier trade, can that backcourt really be a winning algorithm? Like, can 2 guards that are a little bit undersized and aren't the best defenders and are just like volume scorers, can they win alongside Jimmy and Bam? And I'm not going to say like the Heat shouldn't have made that trade for Scary Terry because Kyle Lowry is not much better. And Kyle Lowry obviously provided less offense and maybe the same amount of defense as Terry Rozier. So the issue isn't the move Pat Riley made for Terry Rozier. It's just a question of, could a backcourt of either Kyle Lowry or Terry Rozier and Tyler Herro be able to win a championship? I mean, that is the question on today's show, and we'll talk about if the Heat need to make a trade for Tyler Herro and more. But first, let me know, are you worried about the Miami Heat? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know if you're concerned about how this season's going after this really rough patch where the Heat have lost 6 straight games. Let's jump into it now. Because there's some interesting statistics backing up that Tyler Herro potentially hurts this Miami Heat offense. Yes, you heard that correctly. Tyler Herro has missed 19 games this season. In those 19 games, the Heat have a 119.9 offensive rating. They average 114.6 points per game. They shoot 48% from the field and 39% from 3. Now, with Tyler Herro in the 27 games he has played, the offensive rating dips to 111.1. So there's almost a 9-point differential in offensive rating. The points per game dips from 114 and change to 107.6. So you're averaging 7 less points per game. The field goal percentage jumps, or I should say goes down from 48% to 45.1. And once again, you can guess this, the 3-point percentage goes down from 39 to 36.6. So your statistics almost on every single level are actually lower when Tyler Herro is playing. And that would be something that you did not think would be the case, considering if you were to ask anybody around the NBA what Tyler Herro brings, he brings shooting and scoring. Yet your team statistics are all down when Tyler Herro plays. Now, there's a lot of reasons why that could be. I think I'm going to focus on one here, whereas that there's less cutting, there's less ball movement, and there's less motion on the offensive end. I feel like the Heat, when Tyler Herro plays and is on the court, get too stagnant at times where they have Tyler Herro handling the ball and he's either isolating or running a pick and roll with Bam, Kevin Love, or whatever, and there's no movement. And then they're just kind of standing around and watching Tyler Herro dribble and try to get a shot off, which We all hoped Herro was going to be able to take that next step and be an isolation ball handler and a scorer and someone who can, at the end of the shot clock with 8 seconds, be given the ball and score at an efficient, effective level. That just hasn't been the case. And you see with the stats that I brought up that the Heat's offense is actually executed on a better level when Herro isn't playing, when Duncan Robinson's in the starting lineup. I think it all goes back to the Jimmy, Bam, just them two, and then you have Duncan, Jaime when they were playing, like having more of an offensive role. There was just more fluidity on the offensive end for the Miami Heat. Now, I am not saying that the Heat need to put Tyler Herro on the bench because I actually don't think that solves anything. Herro in that role is still going to play 30 minutes a night. Duncan Robinson's still going to play his minutes. It's just going to be staggered at different portions of the ball game. So I don't think moving Tyler Herro to the bench and starting Duncan Robinson actually solves any issue for the Miami Heat. The big question is, can a Rozier and Herro backcourt that are going to play the primarily minutes of the game and close together, and at least hypothetically, can that be conducive to winning? That is the question we have, and I'm not so sure it can be. I mentioned the defense, but the statistics on the defensive end actually don't really suggest Herro makes that big of a difference either way. Like, the Heat defensive rating without Tyler Herro this year in those 19 games is 117.2. When Tyler Herro plays, it's 115.0 on the dot. So the defensive rating, very minuscule, but technically is a little bit better in the 27 games that he has played. I'm not saying that that means he's a good defender and he's a plus defender, because that is not true whatsoever. I do think he's been improved this year on the defensive level, especially getting in the passing lanes, causing more steals, but he's still not a good point of attack defender. And that might be something that Miami actually needs. Like, that is the move if you're going to say, should the Heat trade Tyler Herro, which is the question I poised on the beginning of this show, and probably the reason why you clicked on this video, is because you might need better defense. And I proposed this trade on our watch party against the Knicks yesterday. If you're watching this Sunday, it was yesterday. If you're watching this after, it was on Saturday. And I don't know if the Heat would do this. I don't think they would, especially once the report came out in the summer that the Heat told Herro's agent they wouldn't trade him for anybody worse than a top 75 player of all time. And I don't know if I would do this trade. I don't even know if the Bulls would do this trade. But I did mention the Bulls trading Tyler Herro for Aelx Caruso. The Bulls want 2 firsts for Caruso. If that's actually his value, I feel like you can do a 1-for-1 swap potentially in Herro and Caruso. They'd also have to match salary as well. So I don't have their salary books offhand, but a Herro for Caruso. Herro makes about 25, 27. Caruso makes 9, so you'd have to make up probably close to that $18 million. Maybe it's a Vucevic deal. Caruso and Vucevic for Herro and, I don't know, a pick or something. I'd have to look more in depth, but this is just preliminary hypothetical discussions right now. And why this trade could potentially make sense for Miami is because, well, you saw Jalen Brunson cook us on Saturday. You saw the Heat have no chance of defending the Boston Celtics on Thursday. Like, the defense in the backcourt has been a struggle, and your wings haven't really been able to slow anyone down either. Haywood Highsmith, I think, is a fine defender, but he hasn't been really that good lately. Caleb Martin has taken a massive step back too. He's a 6'5" athletic wing that you tasked with guarding those 6'3", 6'4" guards on the perimeter, but also being able to switch on a Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And Caleb Martin's defense has fallen off. Like, you could just use your eye sense. I don't have to bring up stats for that. Caleb Martin has not been as good as a defender as he has been in the past. He's also taken a step back offensively, even though he's averaging a career high in points. The eye test tells me, yeah, this guy is not what we thought in that Eastern Conference Finals run last year. Proves to be kind of a fluke. And I'm not going to come out here and now just say trade him, trade Caleb, trade Tyler, trade everyone. I'm not going to be that guy. I don't even think I want to trade Tyler Herro because I want to see if he could bring a championship to Miami. I just don't think it's going to be as the third best player on that team. We thought it could be with Jimmy as the 1, Bam as the 2, Tyler as the 3. Don't know if that's the case anymore. But going just more in depth on the Caruso idea, because I did bring it up, and let's talk about how Caruso could help this team. I mean, he's having a career year offensively. He's averaging 10.1 points per game in just about 26 minutes. So it's not like he's playing 30, 35 minutes a night. He's only playing 26. He's playing 39 games, 10.1 points per game. He's shooting 49.1% from the field, and he's shooting 41.5% from three. Caruso has been an excellent catch and shoot player this season. That is also his career high in three-point percentage if you take away the 25 games he played in 2018-19 for the Lakers, because I don't really take those seriously because it was in a very small sample size. But he has been terrific this year from beyond the arc. But what Caruso actually brings to the table is the intangibles, the ability to defend opposing guards like Jalen Brunson, a Tyrese Maxey, a Donovan Mitchell, a Derek White, a Jaylen Brown, a Drew Holiday, Damian Lillard. I'm not saying he's going to lock them up and just take them away, but he will be your best case. Like, he's a 6'5" guard that can defend 1 through 3, and he actually played one hell of a ball game against the Phoenix Suns earlier this year, where he locked up Kevin Durant down the stretch of that ball game. Caruso is one of the best point-of-attack defenders in the entire NBA, and that is something that the Heat desperately need. This is a 6'5" guard that averages 1.3 steals a game and also 1 block a game. He is everywhere defensively. You obviously would lose offense, but hell, I mean, we looked at the stats. Maybe you don't lose that much of offense, because if he just goes into a off-ball cutting role and a catch-and-shoot guy from beyond the arc, like, he can be a more effective Josh Hart, because he's better defensively than Josh Hart. He's a better shooter than Josh Hart. Hart's a better rebounder, but Caruso finishes around the same clip, is a better three-point shooter, is a better defender. So I get trading Tyler Herro for like a better Josh Hart. Doesn't sound that enticing, but it solves your defensive issues in the backcourt. You still keep your three-point shooting and the catch and shoot. You just go more to a Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo-led offense with Terry Rozier as the initiator and that third guy who, well, even though he's had 3 rough games to start in Miami, he's still averaging above 20 points per game this season. So you still have a third 20-point-per-game scorer. You have your initiator at point guard, which, by the way, I think Rozier has done an excellent job pushing the pace and getting open looks for teammates. I know his shot isn't falling right now, and he's taken some questionable shots, but he has done everything we've asked, at least in the playmaking department, and pushing the pace more. That's a different tangent for a different day. Still keep it with Herro. But you have Caruso in that backcourt. You have your offensive guard. You have your defensive stopper alongside the best defensive player in the NBA in Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, and maybe you could put Jaime at the 4, and that's your closing lineup. Rozier, Caruso, Jaquez, Bam, Jimmy. That's a pretty damn good 5, and it would be heartbreaking to ship away Tyler Herro. And like I said, I don't know if I'd be willing to do this deal. I just think that if you were to argue the best fit to help Jimmy Butler and Bam, don't know if Herro fits that anymore. As sad as it is to say, who knows if Tyler really can be that third guy. Caruso can't be that third guy, but he's a better role player that elevates Terry Rozier, elevates Jimmy Butler, and elevates Bam Adebayo. Let me know, would you trade Tyler Herro for Aelx Caruso? Like, it wouldn't be a 1-for-1 because it can't with salary, but if you made it to the end of the video, let me know. Would you trade Tyler Herro for Aelx Caruso? That is going to do it for today's show. Appreciate everyone watching. Had to come on here on a Sunday before these NFL games and talk some Heat hoops. We'll be back tomorrow for a watch party against the Phoenix Suns. Heat have lost 6 games in a row. Let's pray that it's not 7 and they're able to beat the Suns tomorrow. I'm Nic Rohloff. I'll see you then. It's always and will always be Go Heat.